It is time for what's normally called Just Being Frank. Tonight we're calling it Just Being a Little Cooler Than He Normally Is. How about that?
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll find out. Let's talk a little bit about the Western Conference. And you take a look at those standings, and this is what makes it exciting. When there are a lot of teams packed together, you got about 30 games left to go. A lot of different things could happen.
And there's some newcomers there. You look at who's in first and second place. That's Minnesota and Oklahoma City. One thing to remember about the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are 19-11 on the road. Not only is that a good road record, but we're at Valentine's Day, and they only have 11 road games left, so they could really be a dangerous team. Another team to look out for, and I know last night Bradley Beal got hurt after about 5 or 6 minutes, a hamstring injury, but Phoenix is really good. With Kevin Durant and Devin Booker there, they made some good moves at the deadline. They've improved. They're 6 out of first place. They're trying to get into that top 4, but right now, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, the Clippers, and Denver, those are 4 real quality teams. The only thing is, though, Bob, when everyone talks about who can make it out of the Western Conference, no one talks about Minnesota and Oklahoma City, especially Oklahoma City. They're so young. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander having a great year. But Anthony Edwards, who we got to see play a few weeks ago in Brooklyn, we're going to see him next, when the Nets get back from the break out of Minnesota. He is a sensational player.
By the way, it's weird to see the Warriors at the bottom of that list. I mean, they're on the outside. Yeah. They're close, but
they have won 5 in a row.
Yeah. And you wonder, with all that veteran talent, if they could just get in the game, right, and then suddenly do something in the postseason.
It's interesting, too, when you watch them play, and Klay Thompson has struggled at times this year. Had a good game the last time out. But with the kid Brandon Przemski, when he starts and he plays, they're a little bit better. Now that they have their guys healthy, they've started to play really well. They play the Clippers tonight at home. They get a win tonight. That's 6 in a row for the Warriors.
All right, let's shift gears to Orlando. Last night, they retired Shaq's jersey. What were your thoughts on that?
So what does that mean? They're going to retire my sports jacket when I'm here, when I'm done here at the Yes Network, which, according to reports, might be pretty soon. Shaq played 4 years with the Orlando Magic. He left in the prime of his career to go to the Lakers, and that's where he won 3 titles. He was an MVP. He was a 3-time Finals MVP. I get it. You know, they like to say he put Orlando on the map, but he also looked at them through the rearview mirror. I'm not big on retiring numbers anyway. I kind of think it's a silly American sports tradition. I like a Ring of Honor, you know, but no one's ever going to wear 32 for the Magic. Oh, he got to a finals. I'll give him that. But he's known as being a Laker. I don't understand why he left you. Why are you retiring his number?
Point.
Well, exactly. And there was a lot of bad blood. You know, Penny Hardaway was there last night. We saw him at the ceremony. They clashed. You know, he and Brian Hill, the head coach, there was reports that, you know, Shaq wanted Chuck Daly to be the coach. They eventually hired Chuck Daly. It's just interesting how, you know, I guess time heals all wounds, but Shaq did leave the organization.
All right, want to get back to the Warriors real quick because we're finding out over the past couple days that apparently there were some phone calls made to maybe try and pry LeBron away from the Lakers at the trade deadline.
Yeah, so LeBron, right before the deadline, he had sent out a tweet that just had an hourglass emoji. So you could look at that as a lot of different ways. What I find interesting about the story that was reported by Ramona Shelburne and Adrian Wojnarowski on ESPN was that Draymond Green was kind of a driving force behind it. Draymond Green is represented by Rich Paul, who represents LeBron. LeBron and Draymond Green are very close. So close, they're at the Super Bowl together in a suite. There's no way that the Warriors are calling the Lakers about LeBron unless Draymond spoke to LeBron first and said, yes, see if something can happen. It still comes down to the Lakers wanting to trade him. And clearly the Lakers probably didn't like what they can get back from the Warriors. The other thing to watch out for, LeBron at the end of the year can opt into his contract for $51 million. So maybe the Warriors weren't getting assurances that he was going to do that. So that might have had something to do with it as well. I do find it interesting. It tells me, too, that the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, you know, 34, 35 years old, they're still going for it. They're not ready to give up on a team that features Steph Curry. And the Nets got to see him, and we got to see him play last Monday in Brooklyn. Steph Curry's got a lot left despite his years, but it would have been interesting, like a 39-year-old LeBron paired with Steph Curry. By the way, little interesting fact, they were both born in the same hospital.
Really?
In Akron, Ohio.
A dazzling fact.
Right, that's pretty, you know, 2 all-time legendary players. So I'll find out if it's the same doctor, same nurse as well.
That just upped the cool factor just a little bit there.
I'm trying.
Let's talk about Kawhi Leonard. The left abductor as opposed to the adductor. What's going on with that?
Yeah, that's a key one because Kawhi right now just finished a streak where he had played 20 straight games, and we all, you know, everyone jokes that Greg Popovich in San Antonio is the godfather of load management. Well, Kawhi's up there, too. Here's his games played since he got to the Clippers. 57, 52, 52. He also missed a year in there, but he's had 48 games this year. So Kawhi has played a lot, and you see what happens when Kawhi plays. The Clippers are pretty darn good. Remember what he did to the Brooklyn Nets on that Sunday afternoon where he scored 14 points in the last 4.5 minutes of the game and basically stole a victory from the Brooklyn Nets. Kawhi is a terrific player, but that's always the issue. He's great when he's out there. He's a 2-time Finals MVP, but he's not always healthy. Hopefully for them and for him, it's not a serious thing. But the great thing is Kawhi Leonard is playing a lot of games. He should, set the mark for the most games that he's played in a Clipper uniform.
It's good to see some buzz around that Clippers team. No doubt about it. Going into their new arena next season, by the way.
Next year.
Final thing, like you said, sort of unofficial first half, heading to the second half. Who's your biggest surprise?
Well, I think, it's interesting. Milwaukee lost again last night. So they fired a coach who had 30 wins in Adrian Griffin. They brought in Doc Rivers, and now 3-6 with Doc Rivers as the head coach. Oklahoma City I'd put as a surprise, too. Sam Presti's done a really good job assembling a lot of talent. They still have all those draft picks, so they can make moves. But the combination of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an all-star, Chet Holmgren, could be Rookie of the Year, even though it is his second year. And then that young kid, Jalen Williams, they've been really good. So Oklahoma City, I don't think a lot of people thought at this point you'd look at the standings and Oklahoma City would have the second best record in the Western Conference. Pretty impressive.